Most people accept their limits without question. But what if those boundaries exist only in your mind? This isn't just another sports memoir. Recounting James Lawrence's extraordinary journey from ordinary family guy to completing 50 consecutive Ironman triathlons, this summary will redefine what you believe is humanly possible. Beyond that, Lawrence's mental approach to conquering seemingly insurmountable challenges offers inspiration for breakthrough achievement in any area of life. You'll hear of his humble origins, his trials and tribulations during races, and his unshakable mental resilience. In the end, you might be motivated to tackle your own impossible goals and inspire others along the way. The secret, as you'll learn today, is to just keep going. James Lawrence's leap from ordinary person to elite endurance athlete began with an idea so audacious that most people told him it was simply impossible. Complete 50 Ironman triathlons across 50 states in 50 consecutive days. To understand how extraordinary this goal was, consider that each Ironman event consists of a 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, and a 26.2-mile run. Most athletes believe that completing a single Ironman contest is the achievement of a lifetime. Lawrence wanted to do 50 in a row. Before this remarkable vision took hold, Lawrence had lived an unremarkable life in Calgary, Canada. He was the archetypal everyman, juggling work responsibilities and family obligations without any particular draw to grueling physical challenges. Yet something restless stirred beneath the surface, an underlying drive to test limits that would ultimately reshape the conventional understanding of human capability. This emerging idea intertwined with Lawrence's commitment to raising awareness about childhood obesity and money for charities. But the logistics alone seemed overwhelming. Coordinating travel across 50 states, preserving his body's ability to function, and managing the substantial risks of such a venture created seemingly impossible hurdles. Lawrence knew physical conditioning was only part of the equation. His preparation became mathematically precise. Dawn swimming sessions, extended cycling expeditions across diverse terrain, and nighttime runs until his body begged for relief. He pushed his abilities past known thresholds, training his body to function beyond normal limits. Understanding that mental resilience would prove equally crucial, Lawrence incorporated psychological conditioning techniques. He spent considerable time visualizing race scenarios and potential setbacks, training his mind to persevere when every instinct demanded he quit. His wife Sunny and their 5 children committed to the journey, ready to accompany him through all 50 states in their trailer. Sunny became an essential partner in organizing travel, gathering support, and strategizing training. The entire family would be part of this unprecedented challenge. Yet even with meticulous planning, unwavering family support, and relentless training, Lawrence admits that nothing could have truly prepared him for what lay ahead. The 50-day journey would test not just his physical limits, but the very boundaries of human endurance and willpower. What started as one man's impossible dream was about to become a redefinition of what the human body and spirit could achieve. James Lawrence wasn't born a strong-willed, hyper-disciplined superhuman. Although he was athletic in his youth, his sports career was derailed before it even began. In high school, Lawrence was a standout wrestler who captured the 1994 Alberta Provincial Championship with legitimate Olympic aspirations. But during the National Club Championship, a torn deltoid muscle ended his wrestling career in an instant, leaving him without the identity that had defined him. Searching for direction, Lawrence decided to serve a Mormon mission in Paris. The experience proved overwhelming. Constant rejection wore him down, and he returned home after just 6 weeks, another failure to add to his growing list. By 23, Lawrence was living with his parents and working at a bar with his best friend Quinn. His most valuable possessions were a motorcycle and some tattoos. The former provincial champion seemed destined for mediocrity. Then in 1999, Lawrence heard about a Ferris wheel marathon on the radio, 10 days of continuous riding for $10,000. He persistently called until they gave him a spot as an alternate. The brutal competition required staying on the wheel day and night with minimal breaks. Most contestants quit within days, but Lawrence outlasted them all, winning not because he was the strongest, but because he simply refused to quit. This victory revealed something important, though it took his future wife Sunny to fully unlock it. When she challenged him to run 4 miles on Thanksgiving, Lawrence was humiliated as less athletic people easily outpaced his struggling form. Sunny then registered them both for the Salt Lake City Marathon, just 4 months away. Lawrence's preparation was far from ideal. IT band syndrome, where a tendon in the leg becomes irritated, limited his longest training run to 16 miles, 10 miles short of the full marathon distance. On race day, his body began breaking down at mile 16, exactly where his training had stopped. Every step beyond that point was a battle between his mind and his screaming muscles. But Lawrence discovered something crucial during those final 10 miles. Stopping felt inevitable, but it was actually optional. He could choose to continue despite the pain, despite his body's protests, despite having every logical reason to quit. The lesson became even clearer the day after the marathon. Lawrence could barely move and needed wheelchair assistance at one point. Instead of viewing this as a reason to never race again, he saw it as proof of his unique ability. He could endure and compete without proper preparation. This realization became the foundation of his philosophy. Quitting was always a choice, never a necessity. Lawrence had found his gift for pushing through when others stopped, transforming his greatest weakness into his greatest strength. In 2012, after discovering his extraordinary capacity for endurance, James Lawrence set his sights on something unprecedented, breaking the world record of 22 half-triathlons in 1 year by completing 30 full Ironman triathlons across 11 countries and 4 continents. This was audacious even by Lawrence's standards. He had completed only 1 full Ironman previously, but he had learned to leap before looking, a mindset that would define his approach to seemingly impossible challenges. It was during this period that the Iron Cowboy persona was born, emerging from an unexpected moment that perfectly captured Lawrence's character. His friend Tyrell suggested they wear cowboy hats for a practice triathlon in Canada, then backed out at the last minute. Lawrence wore the hat anyway. His willingness to stand out rather than blend in made him an instant spectator favorite. When Sonny dubbed him the Iron Cowboy afterward, it gave him more than just a memorable name. It provided a powerful brand for raising awareness for his charitable causes. The pursuit of this record revealed that extraordinary achievements require accepting significant sacrifice. While chasing his 30 triathlon goal, Lawrence's family faced financial ruin and eviction from their home. Rather than abandoning his mission, he pressed forward, understanding that his platform could ultimately serve something greater than personal glory. The physical challenges during this journey were equally revealing. In Texas, severe cramping forced him to pedal for 12 miles using only his left leg. When his body went completely stiff during the run, he received a saline IV and then walked 9 miles to the finish line. It was a perfect embodiment of his core philosophy. Quitting remains optional regardless of circumstances. Perhaps most significantly, Lawrence began including others in his extraordinary journey. When officials disqualified Sunny from a race, he wore her tutu in solidarity. He carried and pushed a boy named Dayton, who lives with cerebral palsy, through an entire triathlon when support equipment failed. These moments revealed how authentic achievement grows when shared with others who dare to dream beyond their limitations. Even after completing his seemingly impossible 30 triathlon goal, Lawrence immediately envisioned something greater. 50 triathlons in 50 consecutive days across 50 states. This perpetual raising of the bar demonstrated that true fulfillment comes not from reaching finish lines, but from continuously expanding what we believe possible about human endurance and determination. How do you prepare for something no one has ever done before? You can't, as Lawrence quickly discovered after beginning his 50-50-50 challenge. During the first days of the challenge, the goal still appeared impossible even to Lawrence. His body broke down repeatedly in those first 2 weeks. He suffered blistered toes, chronic fatigue, abdominal strain, bruised hips, bloody stools, cramps, and hamstring tendinitis. The reality of his challenge became starkly apparent in Missouri, when a painful blister in his toe's nail bed made every step excruciating. By the next morning, facing another marathon, he broke down crying and was convinced he couldn't continue. Yet Sonny and his children reminded him that supporters were waiting to run the final 5 kilometers with him. Tennessee proved even more harrowing. Lawrence fell asleep while cycling and crashed, injuring his left forearm and hip, with 82 miles of biking and a full marathon still ahead. The police officer who found him returned in running clothes to join part of the marathon, sharing how his daughter's death from a brain aneurysm had motivated his own transformation from obesity to triathlon. By Virginia, Lawrence's body completely shut down. Food and rest couldn't revive him. It was then that he realized a crucial truth. This wasn't a physical challenge, but a mental one. Each morning's alarm marked another 140.6 miles to conquer. With pain as his constant companion, it seemed insurmountable. Lawrence survived because of meticulous preparation and mental fortification. Ice baths, compression garments, and stretching became crucial recovery rituals. Mentally, he used visualization and positive affirmations, breaking the overwhelming challenge into manageable segments: swim to the next buoy, bike to the next mile marker. Community support became his lifeline. In North Carolina, an overweight diabetic man named Tom accompanied Lawrence for part of the marathon, ultimately committing to a complete lifestyle transformation for his family's sake. Hundreds of strangers joined portions of his triathlons, offering food, medical care, and emotional support. The final stretch revealed the challenge's true essence. Despite feeling like 1,000 pounds weighed on his shoulders during day 48 in Wyoming, Lawrence pressed on. The Utah finale drew 150 cyclists and 3,500 supporters, with Lawrence performing better than ever. After nearly 97,000 swim strokes, 300,000 pedal revolutions, and 2,600 thous running strides, he could finally rest. He had done what no one before him had dared to. He had done the impossible. After completing his impossible 50-state triathlon challenge, Lawrence discovered that extraordinary accomplishments don't guarantee lasting fulfillment. They simply open new doors to unexpected struggles and opportunities. The immediate aftermath perfectly illustrated this paradox. While media attention poured in and his story captivated audiences worldwide, Lawrence himself fell into a dark spiral. His body rebelled against months of punishment, gaining 28 pounds as joint pain and brain fog consumed him. More troubling was the emotional weight: guilt over his wife's sacrifices, regret about unmet fundraising goals, and a haunting inability to remember why he'd undertaken such a monumental challenge in the first place. This post-achievement depression revealed something critical about human psychology. We often assume that reaching our goals will provide lasting satisfaction, but Lawrence's experience demonstrated that the very qualities driving extraordinary performance, relentless focus, sacrifice, tunnel vision, can leave us emotionally and physically depleted when the challenge ends. His temporary inability to find motivation for basic workouts showed how quickly our identity becomes untethered when it's built around a single, completed achievement. However, Lawrence's recovery illuminated the true power of purpose-driven accomplishment. His transformation began not through another physical challenge, but through sharing his story with others. Speaking to entrepreneurs and elementary school children alike, he discovered that his greatest achievement wasn't the 50 triathlons themselves. It was his ability to inspire others to pursue their own impossible dreams. This shift from personal achievement to service represents the heart of Lawrence's journey. True fulfillment comes not from what we accomplish for ourselves, but from how we use those accomplishments to lift others. His decision to decline reality TV opportunities to prioritize family time, his launch of communities for beginner triathletes, and his continued speaking engagements all demonstrate this evolution from self-focused achievement to purpose-driven impact. Lawrence's journey ultimately teaches us that extraordinary achievements aren't destinations, but catalysts, launching pads for deeper meaning and broader influence. The real victory isn't crossing the finish line, it's discovering what lies beyond it and using that discovery to help others find their own extraordinary path forward. When asked about his philosophy now, Lawrence keeps it simple. Get up and go, even when you don't want to. But more importantly, he's learned that the greatest achievements happen not when we push our own limits, but when we help others discover they have no limits at all.